So you want shoulders that are so big you can't even fit through doors, and so we're going to show you how to get them. So your shoulders are made up of 3 heads, and the 3rd head we're going to talk about in the video is responsible for giving you that wide V-tape look. But don't skip on the other 2 heads, as they're going to be just as important for developing your overall physique within your upper body. So please stick around so you can actually grow your shoulders properly. Oh my god, my hair's a bit messed up. But anyway, we're going to talk about the front delt here. And the front delt is made up of the front part of the shoulder. And it isn't necessary in order to isolate it, because it already gets tons of stimulus on your shoulder pressing as well as your bench pressing. And so it isn't really necessary to isolate, and that's unless they are
really small.
And you need to actually implement some direct isolation work. And the best exercises to do that would be front raises, or like a better exercise to do it if they aren't really that small would be to do the shoulder press, either with dumbbells or like yet again with cables, with barbells. But it would be best to use dumbbells or to use a machine where you actually do have back supports in place so that you can effectively take the front delts to failure. But overall, the front delts are not necessary in order to isolate, because they already get targeted on compound lifts such as the bench press. And if you are training heavy and hard on them, then the front delts are going to be hypertrophied. Yes, that is a word. Just okay, and you don't really need to add much unless they are really lagging behind all other muscle groups. And then you have the rear delt, which is this muscle right here, and it's a bit difficult to see. And the rear delt is the back of the shoulder, and it is essential to train it, because then otherwise you will have that forward looking shoulder like this here, and it just does not look good whatsoever. And so it would be best to actually train the rear delts. And so the exercises of which you can train it would be some sort of rear delt fly like this, either on a machine where you are placing yourself in place like this, or you could use cables, and you also could use dumbbells. And you have to focus on raising your elbows and your arms at a 45-degree angle. And what you really have to do is you really have to focus on like sweeping your hands out. You can't like focus on like pulling them out like this.
You shouldn't be thinking about pulling.
Nope, you're thinking about sweeping.
And whatever you can reach with your hands is how much money you get to make.
You really have to like sweep, like, you know, you have to keep your elbow like relatively fixed, but not like too straight, but relatively fixed. And then you focus on basically sweeping the weight out, and that includes for dumbbells, for the machine, as well as for cables. And that would be the actual way, and you have to sweep it out at a 45-degree angle, because, well, that's the way of how the rear delt fibers within the rear delts are aligned. And it would be best to do around a high rep range, like I'd say around about 15 to 20 reps, and the reason being is because of the fact that it involves tons of shoulder work, and well, it will put tons of stress on your rotator cuff, and it would be pretty nasty if it would be too excessively injured. So it would be best to do them with a higher rep range so that you can lower the weight down and not get them too injured too quickly, and it would make a bit of sense. Otherwise, if you do use heavy weight within a normal rep range, like on the vast majority of your other isolation exercises, then well, it would most likely crumble your shoulder to pieces. And so, yeah, like, you just have to focus on some sort of exercise where you are sweeping your elbows and hands out in a 45-degree angle behind you for you to successfully hypertrophize the rear delts and get those massive rear delts and not get like a properly like shrugged forward shoulder look to it. And finally, the shoulder that will make the biggest difference and will give you that proper V-tape look and will make the biggest difference to the overall look of your shoulder, and that would be the side delts right here. And they are by far the biggest muscle within the shoulders. Well, I don't necessarily know, I just made that claim up by itself, but overall they are the shoulders that will give you that V-tape wide broad shoulder look. And the exercises which actually train that muscle, the side delts, would be some form of lateral raise. It could either be done with dumbbells or you could use cables. I prefer to use cables so that, well, I can actually take it closer to failure, and so that's what I do. And yet again, you have to train it ridiculously hard, and it would be the best thing of what you can do in order to get those wide shoulders. And that's it for today's video, and if you've enjoyed, please make sure to like this video or watch later so that you can come back here and reiterate over what I just said so you can get a better understanding over how to grow some big ass shoulders, and subscribe for no more BS fitness tips such as this.